Let's speak more about that story now with Willem Els from the Institute for Security Studies. Willem, a very good evening to you. Another G4S employee arrested for alleged involvement in the escape by Thabo Bester from the maximum security facility in Mangaung almost a year ago. What does it tell us then about the levels of corruption in these facilities?
Good evening to you. Yes, that is very troublesome to find out what is going on there. You know, it is evident that big money played a role here, and the more money, the bigger the money, also the higher the level of corruption, and also the higher the level of your state actors that can be corrupted. So we saw here that they obviously assisted Mr. Bester to a great extent. He had a good time in prison, according to the news reports, and they evidently assisted him with the escape, as you mentioned, almost a year ago. And that just points us that the levels of corruption within that facility must be extremely high.
And what it suggests at this stage, when you look at the arrest of two G4S employees, a man who worked for the company responsible for the cameras at the same facility, that also talks to how coordinated the corruption would be, right? So the corrupt people in the system know one another and collaborate. So what does that mean for any effort to try and root out the rot?
Yeah, it will obviously take some time to get to the crux of it, and also to find out who has been corrupted and so on. But we must just understand that something like that, it doesn't happen overnight. This must have been planned for a very long time. It took some time and effort to corrupt the one official. Once you have corrupted one official, normally it will lead to the corruption of another and of another. And then at the end of the day, this whole syndicate within the facility will then work together, because it must be coordinated. It's very well planned. We could see that a lot of role players from inside, but also from outside of prison, played a role in order for him to be able to escape. So I think the investigation, as it continues, it will just lay bare how high and to what extent the officials have been corrupted in this facility. It doesn't say it doesn't play out well for this facility, but it also raises a red flag. You know, if it can happen in this facility, what about other facilities in South Africa?
So is an overhaul of the prison system possible at this stage, given the extent of the problem?
I think it warrants and maybe an overall, but at least a very good investigation. We saw that Judge Cameron also raised the red flag, and he mentioned his concern about it. So maybe this is an ideal opportunity for the Department of Correctional Service to overhaul the whole system and to have a look at where they are going wrong, and also to rectify what has not been going well.
G4S and the Correctional Services Department have appeared already before the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Correctional Services, each of them at this stage basically pinning this on what are very junior officials who are arrested who work at the Mangaung Correctional Center. But what should responsibility, accountability look like at that level, the level of management and the owners of the company?
Yeah, you see, if you look at it from a governance perspective, responsibility can be delegated. So the Minister and the Commissioner of Correctional Services delegated the responsibility for the incarceration of these people at the facility by G4S. Ultimately, the accountability will rest with the Minister and the Commissioner of Correctional Services, because you cannot delegate accountability. But on the other hand, it will determine on the contract, of course, and we believe that there will be serious repercussions for the management of this company as well, because they seem to have failed the system.
And it's quite awkward for government, is it not? It's under pressure to cancel the G4S contract. We know it was not going to be renewed when it comes to an end in 2026 already. But when you take the contract away from G4S, there's also the conversation about government-run correctional centers, which aren't free of corruption either.
Mm-hmm. It's true. You know, I think the Minister and the Correctional Services are the catch-22 situation at the moment. You know, on the one hand, I believe that they would like to cancel this contract if they can, But on the other hand, our other prisons are so overpopulated. Where do you go with all of these people on short notice? And with this contract only running for another 2 or so years, maybe they will be able to continue with the contract, but under very strict supervision. So I think that is maybe the route that will be taken by the Minister.
Willem Els from the Institute for Security Studies, good to speak to you as always. Thank you.